In an interview on Meet the Press on Sunday, Senator Bernie Sanders was asked by Kristen Welker about the comments made by Senator Elissa Slotkin, Michigan, that were criticizing or critical of he and AOC's Fight Oligarchy Tour.
That your colleague, Senator Elissa Slotkin, said. She said Democrats should stop using the term oligarchy because it's a phrase that doesn't resonate with all Americans. Are you missing a chance to speak to a wider audience, Senator?
Well, geez, we had 36,000 people out in Los Angeles, 34,000 people in Colorado. We had 30,000 people in Folsom, California, which is kind of a rural area. I think the American people are not quite as dumb as Ms. Slotkin thinks they are. I think they understand very well. When the top 1% owns more wealth than the bottom 90%, when big money interests are able to control both political parties, they are living in an oligarchy. And these are precisely the issues that have got to be talked about. Are you living in a democracy when Mr. Musk can spend $270 million to elect Trump and then becomes the most important person in government? Or AIPAC and other super PACs have enormous power over Democratic candidates. Those are issues that we have got to talk about. That is the reality of American society today. The very rich getting richer, working class people are struggling, 800,000 people sleeping out on the streets. If we don't address that issue, the American people will continue to turn their backs on democracy because they're looking around them and they're saying, does anybody understand what I am going through? And unfortunately, right now, to a large degree, neither party does.
So Bernie Sanders is 100% right. And by the way, I love that he mentioned AIPAC. You don't hear a lot of people slamming AIPAC in the Democratic Party. Okay, gee, I wonder why. Oh, right, it's because they've been funding a lot of the Democrats. So, and you know, look, the American people, I believe one of the most recent polls, about 71% of them is like, hey, maybe we ought to stop, you know, just giving Israel all this money until, you know, look, we should stop giving them the money so that until they stop bombing the crap out of Gaza. Okay, maybe we should hold on to that. 71% of Americans. But you know what? The Democratic Party was still like, no, we're going to give them more money. And by the way, Trump administration also was like, yeah, let's give them billions of dollars for them to continue to bomb Gaza. Now, of course, Trump wants to make Gaza Lago. Okay, so he's totally fine with that. But the Democrats, I mean, they absolutely completely dropped the ball on the issue of Gaza, ignoring not only the base, but also ignoring the majority of the American people who actually do want to see a peace agreement between those two sides. You know, one that actually respects humanity. Okay, but getting back to other issues, right? The reason that Slotkin is wrong isn't because she misunderstands the American people or underestimates them. No, it's because she knows that talking about the oligarchy actually does resonate with the American people. And she's afraid of that. I mean, all the oligarchs are. Okay? She represents the oligarchy. Okay? Corporations have been putting billions of dollars into politicians for decades. And again, it's thanks to Citizens United. It's basically become a free-for-all. And Sanders also mentioned one of the biggest examples, Elon Musk pumping $270 million into this election, essentially buying the presidency. But what's also on the other side, you had the Democrats spending $2 billion to lose to Donald Trump. And where do you get that money? You get it from big donors, wealthy donors, and giant corporations. Okay. And now, in this case, for Elon Musk, he bought the presidency and then gave himself fat contracts, while regular people are being stuck having to finance their groceries. That's the country we're living in right now. I mean, that is pretty much an oligarchy right there. Rich get richer, everyone else suffers. Oligarchy. All right. And look, earlier this year, to really kind of drive the point home, I've got some numbers. The collective net worth of America's top 12 billionaires had surpassed, earlier this year, $2 trillion. Now, of course, Trump's disruption of the markets kind of changed that a little bit. Okay. So, yeah, you had rich people that did lose some money, and then a very effective boycott against Tesla and Elon Musk, and he lost some money. But still, you have billionaires that had increased their wealth by more than $1.3 trillion, about 193% between March 18th of 2020 and December 3rd of 2024. It's according to the Institute for Policy Studies and an analysis of Forbes real-time billionaire data. In 2022, the ultra-wealthy's share of stock market ownership also hit an all-time high. The richest 1% now own 54% of stock and mutual funds, up from 40% in 2002, according to Federal Reserve data. And according to IPS analysis of Saez and Zuckman data, as America's richest 0.1% have accumulated more wealth, they've actually paid a smaller share of total taxes. In 2018, the tax share of the top 0.1% was close to what it was in 1953. By contrast, their share of the nation's wealth nearly quadrupled during that period, rising from 2.5% to 9.6%. And all of that happened while those at the bottom have seen their wealth dip into negative wealth. Negative wealth, meaning the value of their debt exceeds the value of their assets, according to the National Bureau of Economic Research data. So that's a reality. And again, this is not just covering the Trump era, but also Biden and everything that's been leading up to this. This has been a problem for a very, very long time. And it's a problem not with just one candidate or one party over the other. This is a problem with the system. The system is broken. Well, you could say the system is broken, or you could say the system is working as intended for the select few that are running it. Look, if that doesn't scream oligarchy at you, I don't know what will. But it's true. And again, the problem with Congress is not only the fact that they are millionaires, but they are also out of touch. Now you might think, but wait a minute, isn't Bernie Sanders a millionaire? Yes, he is. He is actually. Now, that is because he wrote 2 best-selling books and inherited a house. So he didn't step on anybody in order to get there. Okay? And it doesn't mean the fact that he's a millionaire does not mean that he's completely disconnected from working people, because he continues to advocate for working people because he knows what the problem is. And in fact, the reason that he sold so many of his books is because what he wrote resonated with the American people. So yes, what he says about the oligarchy does resonate, as well as what we should do to fix it. And the problem is with people like Slotkin, they're afraid of that because they still represent their donors. And so what she wants to do is distract people from any mentions of policy that would, try to fix this issue. Meaning taxing the rich fairly, redistributing that wealth back to the working class that created it, reducing the amount of income inequality. I mean, when you have CEOs that are making over 300 times more than their highest paid workers, that's a problem. That's a big problem. And so far, like Sanders says, neither party is really working a whole lot to address this issue and to fix it, because you got to realize that the people that control these parties don't want to fix, because everything's working for them extremely well. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, You can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.